Today we have a great pleasure and honor to speak with Joe from Gojira. Good to see you in Poland. How's your trip?
Very good, thank you.
For a couple of days you will be releasing your new album. We had a chance to listen to it, and in our opinion it's a very bold, challenging but also very enjoyable record. But don't you think that the diehard fans would appreciate this new record?
You know, we love our diehard fans. We truly do, but we can't base our life on them. You know, so yeah, of course, some people might be disappointed to lose their dear death metal pet, but we're not their pet. You know, this is we're a rock band, right, or metal band, or whatever you call it. We're somewhere in between, maybe. But this is what it's all about. I think when you play that music, is to feel alive and to enjoy yourself and to push the boundaries and to challenge yourself and your listeners. You know, so we're not scared to lose them. We're a bit sad in advance to lose some of our fans, of course, but it's gonna happen anyway. What are you gonna do? We're getting older, and we don't have the energy to play death metal anymore.
With your lyrics in your previous works, you touch the topics that are very unusual for the metal band, like environment, ecological stuff. Will you pursue this topic on a Magma?
Magma is less of. It's a logical evolution to the previous records, in the sense that the way I approach lyrics is always the same thing. It's always the same process. You know, when you're alone in your bedroom and you're playing guitar and you think about stuff, and or you're on your phone, maybe, I don't know. But you know, you have things in your mind, you know, and some things trouble you deeply. And I'm that kind of guy that like I'm worried about things, you know. I care about things. I care about, you know, what's gonna happen with this humanity. What's gonna happen to the planet? And I know that eventually the sun will grow so big that it'll, you know, destroy the Earth, and the whole, you know, solar system is bound to disappear anyway. But then I read books about, you know, like the Buddhism philosophy, and I think it's a beautiful philosophy, and it's all about the moment. You know, what the energy of the now. You know, that's all there is. You know, and when you think about the past, it was just the now, and the future is just the now. So instead of thinking, oh, is it worth protecting this planet because it's going to disappear anyway, sometimes I'm troubled just by the way people behave directly now on this planet, and the energy it creates forever and ever, and because on a certain dimension there's no time and no space. So everything we do in life is sacred. Every little thought we have, every word, every gesture. And we're just a music band. We're just playing music, but you know, I have all this shit in my head, and I have to scream it in the microphone, and it is what it is. And then some people make a big deal out of it. You said that, but then you said that, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm just a stupid singer, you know, with things in my head, and then just scream these things in the microphone. So on this record, we grew up a little bit. We're less angry maybe at stuff, and more at peace with things. And it's more. I would say that this record is more like a statement of what we are today, musically and lyric wise. It's really whatever is in our heads. Nice shoes over there. You see how it sparkles in the light? Really like it. Looks like, yeah, they look like fishes almost. I don't know. You know, the moment, the right now. The album is Magma is all the emotions, you know, inside, creating this magma of emotions and sensations, and it's very complex. Human nature is really complex. I don't know how to answer the question. I forgot the question.
But the Magma is exactly that. This title is that what you said about that we have inside of us.
Yeah.
Is that origin of of its title. Could you say more about this? How you come with this idea for a title?
So to be really precise and to tell you the whole story, we were jamming that riff. That's the opening riff to that song Magma. It goes digga 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 digga, something like that. And the way we were playing it with my brother, we're jamming, staring at each other, and he said, "Oh, it feels like, I don't know, like feels like magma." You know, like boiling, something boiling. And I couldn't agree more. You know, I was like, yes, man, it's totally that. It's magma. You know, that's what it is. This riff, you know, this sound, what we were looking for, you know, and since the beginning, 20 years ago when we created the band, we instantly were always trying to reproduce the heaviness of a mountain, or the crushing aspect of a wave, or the lava, the volcano, the magma. It's always, we always have these images in our minds when we create the music, because I think it fits pretty well, you know. And we call the riff Magma. Okay, we have this Magma riff, you know, and then the whole song was, because the idea and the name was so strong that it became the working title to that song. So the song became Magma. And then later on, when we were thinking of a title for the record, I'm like, dude, it's Magma. That's it. That's what it is. So you see the way it happens. It's not like we don't sit around the table with Ty and you know. It's just, it happens like that, like just naturally, I guess.
The one of your previous works, From Mars to Sirius, lyrics were somehow connected, I think. And could you say that in a matter of Magma record?
What do you mean by connected?
Connected lyrically.
You mean the songs to each other? Yes. It's true that From Mars to Sirius, the title says from A to B, from this place to this place, and then you have a record with like a kind of a journey. So in that sense, I guess we can call it a concept album, right? With Magma, I don't know if we can call it a concept album. I'm not sure it matters really, you know, how we call it. Really, it's an album. But this definitely, this energy going through the entire record, I guess. Even though you have a song like Stranded or Silvera, and then you have another song like Pray or Magma, or The Shooting Star, the opening song. They're very different. You know, you go from one world to another, and we like that too. There's a lot of contrast. But the cover of the record, you know, is like this volcano, and there's a sun on top of it that represents life. Really simple. It's just it's funny. I see a lot of people think that we have like a secret society behind us or something, like Illuminati or whatever. I read comments sometimes, you know, on Facebook, 'cause I'm like, what? The eye is the consciousness. The pyramid is like, I don't know, knowledge, civilization, the beauty of like the heaviness, the strong base. The sun is the life, you know. These are universal symbols, and it's true that in one video there was this triangle and an eye, and you know, but I didn't do this video. We asked someone to, like, so I don't know, but for us it's all very simple. We're just simple people. We're rednecks. We come from the countryside. We don't, you know, like, you know, we think about the stars, and we're like amazed by beauty of things. And when we travel to countries, we're like, oh, do you see the people here? They're like this and like that. They have bigger eyes. And we're always we're very naive and very childish most of the time. And all our symbols and all our the things that you will find in our music or are very simple. It's very basic most of the time, and there's nothing really to dig too much. This album is just Magma, you know, I would say. So in that sense, it is a concept album. It's all Magma, because it's metal.
Okay, so that led us to actually my sort of questions, since you actually mentioned the one I was going to ask you anyway, so the concept behind the cover art. Since I'm doing the art section for our website. I'll shoot you with some art questions. And first of all, you and your brother and also your sister are not only musicians but also artists. I know that you are responsible for the covers, at least for those two albums I brought with me, since I wanted to talk about them as well. But also your brother is a painter, and to be polite, his paintings are weird, and this is like the polite version because they're really like wow. I was looking through them yesterday and I was like wow. And then there is your sister who's a photographer, and I want to ask you, how do you connect the being artist as a painter and also a being musician? Does it somehow complete you as an artist, or those are like two different things for you?
They're different, but they're the same at the same time. We grew up in my brother and my sister. We grew up in an old house that you will actually see in detail in our next video. And we're about to release another video when the album comes out. It's going to be a very interesting video. That takes place in our house where we grew up. And you see a lot of details and stuff, and you see the full house at the end. And it's a very touching video. But we grew up in that house. Our dad he is still a drawer. In English, it's painter, but really he's not painting with colors. Yes, with Chinese ink and stuff. So we grew up with that vibe in this old house and a lot of freedom. And we started to play music there, and the house was full of paint, stuff, pencils and paper everywhere. Like if we wanted to create, we could create. We wanted to play music, we could play music. And I want to thank my parents for that, because they offered us so much freedom as kids. So we grew up really organically, naturally, taking pictures and painting. And at some point, my sister got really into taking pictures. So yeah, sure, take one of the rooms, in the house and make it was like almost like a squat, and put curtains and develop your own shit, and just work, do your thing. But my dad showed us the way by working hard. He would wake up at 5 a.m, work all day, do his things, and eventually got really successful at what he did. But in a very, very humble way. And we kind of followed his example. I think he was also building everything in the house, the tables and the chairs and the shelves, and fixing the floor and fixing the walls and stuff. And so he showed us a great example that you can paint, you can build stuff, you just have to do it. So my sister started to paint and take pictures, and she's a good singer too. She's not singing at all, but when I hear her sing, I'm like, damn, you have a good voice. And my brother started to paint too, and I'm doing my own thing too, and I'm a very good dancer too. No, that's not true. Well, I mean, we grew up with art. That's what I want to say. So it's all one for me. It's all this big magma again, of creation, and I always did all the covers for the records, and that's every 3 years I start drawing again. Because I went to a school when I had to choose a path for university, I went to design. But then I was just doing music all the time, so I failed horribly. So I just quit in the end. But I always go back to painting each time we release a record, because I did all the covers since the first album. And this time I was so busy on the production side, and I was, building my own studio, mixing the record with our live sound engineer. I didn't have time for the cover, so we found someone. And also we thought that it was a good thing to bring someone new in the mix, not just stay amongst the Duplantier all the time.
Okay, so since you said that you were the one who was doing the all covers besides the last one, I want to ask you, how does it look? I mean, how do you get the idea? How do you create the cover? Like, I mean, the artistic stuff and also the boring technical stuff. Since I want to show to our readers about how to create a cover. Yeah.
So for me, and it's funny because you were asking me the link between being a musician and an artist, and a lot of times when I write lyrics, I also make little sketches, For example, I was writing lyrics for one of the songs on The Way of All Flesh, and it turned out being wolf down the earth. To wolf down is, the wolf. To wolf down is when you swallow something entirely. And so this image of swallowing the earth was to me a good picture of humanity just, sucking and destroying, eating everything up. It started with a sketch, I was drawing like a small world, and there was this big mouth, like, and then I came up with the lyrics because I did that. And the same thing happened for a lot of songs where I was just doing a little sketch. Just when I was in school and was not paying attention and doing sketches the same way, I was like, I'm supposed to write lyrics. I'm doing a little sketch. Oh, wait, that's lyrics, but through painting, through drawing. So a lot of times it's like that. And from Mars to Sirius, for example, this whale, and I had the vision in my head. It's like I see this very white, kind of gentle treatment, and I see a whale, and then I started to do it. We actually just released a box. It was a limited edition and it's already sold out, so there's no point in promoting it, but I have one in the dressing room. It's the only one left. It's a cassette.
Going to buy it, but I actually missed the time.
Oh shit, you know what? We sold 2 yesterday in Warsaw, and the 2 last we had. And it was funny because inside there was 4 the progression of the cover. First, the first sketch, with brush and Chinese ink, and then what was the question again?
How do you produce the covers? I mean, the technical aspect and also the art aspect. I mean, how do you come with the ideas?
Yeah.
So how do you produce and how does it come?
So usually
as a whole,
the idea comes really quickly with a vision or something, and then it's a long way to make it look really nice. So usually I'll do it 50, 60, 70 times until it's perfect. And when it's almost perfect, but then I start to put ink or something, and then shit, I have to do it again. It's funny, but it's interesting because it's something that's away from the technology and the computers and all that, and I like going back to drawing and trying to do a good job. And but then the technical aspect takes a long time. I guess it takes a lot of practice. So sometimes I start something with Chinese ink or paints, and then I have to do it several times to go back to the technicity of it.
Okay, so are you the solitary one in doing covers? At least you were, or were you communicating with the band? Is the cover the work of the band, or is it just you as a solitary one?
I think I'm the one giving the direction lyric-wise and meaning-wise, the meaning of the songs, but I always check in with my bandmates and my brother and make sure that they're cool with that, I'm not writing a song about something like I love Nazis. Are you cool with this idea? Dude, no, I'm not like that. It's more like, hey, I would write a song about the earth is beautiful and we should protect. Yeah, cool, sure, whatever. They agree with me most of the time. They're cool with my ideas, and I send them, like, I do a little sketch of the cover, send them, and then they're like, whoa, that's weird. Why is it all like this? I'm like, no, I'm gonna fix that, but what do you think about the... Yeah, I communicate with them, sure, of course.
Okay, so the last question for me. You said about the Magma, since you were not the one who was doing the cover, but I guess you were the one who was giving the idea. You said that your inspirations are not like that very deep, like you're not dwelling in a deep to find the inspiration, at least for the covers. And is it the same for those 2 records I have right now with me, which is The Way of All Flesh and the Le Fond Sauvage? Those are really like the simple ideas behind, simple inspirations, or is it something more to it?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by simple, but from spontaneous.
Like Illuminati, like dwelling in a
something
like this. I was
right.
The inspiration, if they are like super. But
there
are some bands which are dwelling in how deep they are in their inspirations, and
I-
that like you have 10,000 meanings behind the cover.
Yeah, when I said that we're simple rednecks and stuff, I didn't mean to be respectful towards rednecks, and I think there's a truth in pagan history and nature, and people that live in the wild or in the forest and are in peace with the elements and stuff, and I think it's actually deeper than putting some hidden messages about the structure of the society or the secret societies and stuff like that. I think there's something actually deeper. For example, in the World of All Flesh, it's full of details, and the heart. You see, there's something here. There's a drop here, a red drop here is actually a blue drop, and there's a white drop coming to the heart, and that's in the Tibetan book of living and dying, and in the Tibetan philosophy, they say that after the body, after a person dies, there's 3 days of internal process happening inside, and there's the white drop coming from a certain way into the heart, and the red drop. It's an image or it's a reality, I'm not sure, but it's part of a philosophy, it's a very beautiful philosophy that taken in consideration of the reincarnation and the never-ending existence of the spirit. And all of this is kind of resumed in this drawing. So actually for this one I did some homeworks, and try to do something cool. But yeah, the flying whale, it's just a whale. It's a fly, and then I'm stuck with that. I go, flying whales.
I mean,
why?
They get some people who are talking to you about the covers. I mean, they are so deep, like this, and this, and you said like it's a flying whale.
Yeah, people go nuts, but I like it too, because music. That's what music is for, is to punch the brain a little bit and activate the imagination. So I like that people go crazy on that kind of stuff too.
Okay, cool. That's all for me. Thank you very much.
And our time is running out, so what would you say in the end for a little language exchange? For us as non-French talkers, it's hard to pronounce the title of your last record.
Yeah.
Could you tell us how to pronounce it, and we will teach you some Polish word, maybe.
Okay, so to pronounce that correctly, you have to use your nose, because in French there's a lot of on, un. It's like it's a bitch to pronounce when you're not French, but we grew up like that. So l'enfant. Yeah, that's perfect. L'enfant sauvage. Yeah. Sauvage. Sauvage. Yeah, when you speak French, sometimes you have to go places that force your sauvage. A lot of American people, or even my wife is from Lithuania. Actually, she's a neighbor of Poland, but she can't pronounce it too, because it's weird to say sauvage, enfant. This thing with the nose, you got to use your nose. So l'enfant sauvage.
Thank you. So, could you pronounce stół z powyłamywanymi nogami? Maybe?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Maybe if you
maybe.
help me a little bit, 'cause it's really complicated. What does that mean?
The table which had his legs broken, which means
Kind of tongue breaker joke.
yeah, it's a tongue breaker.
Okay, I get it.
So-
So for the master. So help me here. How do you say?
Stół z powyłamywanymi nogami.
Oh, motherfucker.
Stół,
Stół
stół,
z
Stół z
po
wy
ła
my
my
wa
ny
mi
nogami.
nogami.
yeah.
It's too.
Powyłamywanymi nogami. It's like
Wow.
fucking long.
Okay.
Powyłamywanymi, it's one word.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like-
So say the first word.
First word is stół,
Yeah. No, but the first
z-
half. Let's say.
powyła,
Mywanymi.
Mywanymi.
Okay, and-
Mywanymi.
Very good. Really.
Powyła mywanymi.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now the whole stół z powyłamywanymi nogami.
Stół spowyła.
Powyłamywanymi.
Well, yeah, but for me, it's just sounds. It's like I have to remember everything. It's crazy. I don't know. Yeah. Spovewa mevanemi stogami bragabratite. Okay.
Very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the interview. Nailed it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.